We, the jury, as to count 2, find the defendant guilty. And we, the jury, as to count 1, find the defendant guilty.
Family drama and very emotional victim impact statements could be what tips the scales of justice at sentencing time in the Burn Powell murder case. Convicted killer Melody Farris set to be in court tomorrow to learn her fate. Her sentencing is scheduled for 9 a.m. Eastern time, and Court TV will be there. The jury told us they were convinced that she murdered her husband, Gary, with their verdict. We learned through one of the jurors that they were convinced of the murder even if they didn't know exactly how it took place. Take a listen.
I can tell you that there should not have been as much damage as there was done. I don't know what that means. That body should not have been burned up.
So, who burned it up?
Mike Scott did.
She blamed her son, Scott. Remember that she blamed him for Gary's murder, but the jury didn't believe it. They were convinced it was her who did it. What's going to happen at sentencing? Because remember, her kids, who were all witnesses in this, Gary and Melody, have 2 sons and 2 daughters. They all came in as witnesses. They're all going to have an opportunity to speak to the court as victims and give impact statements tomorrow. Let's bring in our special guest now. He was the former head of the homicide unit in the Norfolk County DA's office in Massachusetts. He's in private practice now. I say he should be a law professor. Attorney Rick Grundy. Rick, good morning to you. Oh boy, tomorrow, this could be a day full of drama. What kind of weight do you think the court will give the impact statements from the Farris children?
Let me just back up 1 second, and good morning, Julie. But I also wanted to mention that in addition to being a brilliant attorney, and more so even an advocate for her causes, Wendy Murphy is a former Patriots cheerleader and mother of, I believe, 5. So that's one individual
awesome.
I don't mind backing
I didn't know that. That is so cool.
Now you do.
I love Wendy. She is so awesome. Would you say?
I said, so Miss Farris, on the other hand.
So Miss Farris, I know, yeah, I know. Back to her, back to Melody Farris, yeah. For anybody wondering at home, you and Wendy both in the Boston area, and so colleagues, and that's how you know Wendy. Next time we'll have you both on together, since you're just missing each other. Yeah, Melody, so her kids, Scott, her kid, Scott, Chris, the 2 daughters, I mean, they're all coming in, and she blamed Scott for the murder, Rick. So how do you think this is going to go, especially when he speaks?
So I think Ms. Farris has put herself in a worst possible position she could be. It's a cold-blooded murder of a person that she shared the majority of her life with. The motivation factor seems to be solely money, the destruction of the body by burning it, and then blaming one of your own children, or trying to put this charge on one of your own children. There's really nothing mitigating on her behalf. You throw the family mix in there. In this particular case, it's my understanding that pretty much everybody, with the exception of one daughter, was against her or felt that she was responsible for this murder. And the one daughter that was hesitant to go there said, let the jury decide, let the system play itself out. And the jury's decided, and the system is playing itself out. So I really think she's in the crosshairs as much as possibly can be. Whenever you have this family component as a victim, but having particularly a parental linkage there, you never know how it's going to play out. I've had a number of homicides, domestic homicides, where children are supportive of the defendant. In the situations I'm thinking of, it's always been the husband, the father. I've always found that to be natural, because to do so otherwise would be you basically orphan yourself. So short of an eyewitness situation, they tend to lean that way. But in a situation like this, I think, again, the tables have been set where the family is going to be with their deceased father, and with respect to that one child, maybe a little more down the middle of the road, but
Right.
she's in trifecta.
Oh, yeah. She's in deep, deep trouble, as you've said, Rick. Great analysis. So life in prison is the maximum she could get. She has no prior criminal history that we're aware of. How do you see the court coming down here?
So, you know, courts can vary greatly state to state. Certainly in Massachusetts, which, you know, normally tends to be looked at as one of the more liberal states. And I'm not talking politically, I'm talking judicially. This is a life without parole. And I really can't see it going anywhere less than that in a situation of this nature, because again, there's no mitigating factors. I don't know, what was the boyfriend? Randy, I think it was.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. Yeah.
The short of them,
Rusty,
I don't know who's
Rusty,
going to
they're
say
telling me in my ear. Would you say, Rick, one more time? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said short of those individuals, those gentlemen, I don't see who would be coming in to have a kind word about her that
Right.
would take her sentencing down.
You're exactly right. Yeah, maybe we'll hear from Rusty. That's a great teaser. Will Rusty speak out from Melody? Rick Grundy, you are tremendous. Thank you so much for making some time for us this morning. We'll look forward to seeing you back here again soon. Now, that is all for this episode of Opening Statements, friends, but I want to invite you to a special event that's happening today. Court TV is hosting a virtual meet and greet with me. This is happening on our members-only YouTube channel. It's happening today at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's not too late to sign up. You can still do that.